That was good, wasn't it? It's freezing cold out here, so it's freezing cold out here, so that can mean only one thing. I'm gonna lock myself in that room up there with the heating on and do some vocals for nothing, nada, none. Let's do this. Check out that JJ Abrams lens flare. Woo! So this is probably going to be the shortest video in this series because vocals have sort of got this system down. So what you're going to need is a decent microphone. Doesn't have to be too expensive. Some of these USB condenser microphones are pretty good. Samsung do one which is really cheap, but I've heard some quite good recordings from that. Also Blue do one which is really good. I think that's a bit more expensive, but just Google it, check it out. I'm not using one of those. I'm using a standard sort of XLR input microphone. Again, I'm using the old favourite, which is the Aston Origin microphone. It just sounds cool. Put it on anything, it sounds cool. I've also got this SE reflection filter. Basically this is designed for people with home studios, basically in a room that's not designed completely perfectly soundproof. It stops all of the bad noise. So if I didn't have it, I'd have that wall there behind. I'd have, when I'm singing, I'd have my voice reflecting back off that wall and back into the microphone, and that's not what you want. So this kind of, it doesn't stop that, but it reduces it. Really good bit of kit, and I picked that up from like a cash generator. I think it was like £20, really cheap. I don't think they knew what it was. Also, what might come in handy is a pop filter. Now this one, you sort of just place it just in front of the microphone here, and it basically stops any plosives, which is P's, p, and B's. It stops the gust of wind when you say p. It stops the little gust that comes out from directly hitting the diaphragm and making that noise that you can hear sometimes when people don't have the filter on. So it comes in really handy. If you don't have one of them, you can sing off axis. So this here is on axis. This is the microphone where the diaphragm points forward, where the logo is there. So you could tilt it like this, and that tends to reduce some of that noise. But you can make one of these out of a pair, oh, it's stuck to me jumper, out of a pair of tights, women's tights. Get a pair of the Missy's old tights, wrap it around a coat hanger to make that circle shape. That is actually a pair of the Missy's old tights, because the original one broke on this. But yeah, really recommend using one of these. It saves a lot of hassle afterwards when you realise that you've got loads of random noises. The microphone itself I'm keeping quite flat, so there's two settings on here. One is flat and one is the high pass filter. It's set to flat, so that's quite simple, really, quite a simple setup. I'm going to be doing what's called comping for the vocals, and in Logic it's really easy to do because they have a loop record function. So basically the song keeps looping, and then at the end of the loop it'll start a new track, go back to the start of the song, and you'll have loads of takes, and basically at the end of it I'll choose the best bits from the takes. It's basically a more natural, it's a natural way of editing, and you'll find that you sing the same. It's easier if I show you actually on the screen, so I'll show you that now. So here in Logic I have just there is the vocal channel, and I'm just going to solo that just to give you an example of what I mean. So I'm going to set up a loop record just to demonstrate. So that little yellow thing at the top there, that is a loop. So when I press record here, I can record vocals. This would be the first take, so I'd be going la 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 la, singing, and then as soon, I should have done one bar, shouldn't I? All the phones are bleeping and everything. Turn your phone off when you're recording. So when this gets to the end of this loop here, it will start recording another track. over the top. There we go. It actually is recording. It's just very quiet. So now we've gone to the end of there. It will do the same again, but it should pop underneath now. There we go. And that will now keep stacking those tracks up. And then at the end of the piece, I'll do some claps now, just to demonstrate. At the end of this loop now, there'll appear another bit there. So I'll stop that now. Now I can zoom in here, and basically if I say this is my vocals here, and I like the first bit of this one, but I prefer the second bit of that one there, I'll just select it here, and it will seamlessly take the first bit, and then it will sort of crossfade it into that one there automatically. So that's how I get my vocal takes. I'll do sort of 4 or 5 takes and then pick and choose, and if there's one bit that I just have done completely rubbish, then I'll take that bit and redo it again and again and again until I get it right. So that's the very basic principle, but when I'm recording I'll do a time lapse of how that works and hopefully that'll be more self-explanatory. Vocals, you're not just looking for in tune and on time, you're looking for feeling, because at the end of the day you're trying to emote somebody's feelings. The song that you've written, you're trying to make that everything you've ever written down in preparation for the song, you're trying to put that across with the vocals. So it's not just about being in time and being in tune. Obviously sometimes being out of tune works in a song, and try and tell that to a proper producer. They just want to auto-tune everything to a note. But yeah, so when you're doing vocals, it's good to listen out for different things rather than just think, yeah, that's in tune and that's in time. But that's how I approach vocals anyway. So now I'm gonna have a go. Before we get into it, there's 2 things. You're gonna need some water and also warm-ups. Now, if you're as embarrassed as I am about, well, I mean, I'm on my own in the house and I'm embarrassed about warming up, but there are a few ways you can do it, and this works for live and recording, especially for live actually, because it's embarrassing. Someone walking around going, oh, 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 oh. So one technique that I know of is when you're just about to yawn, you sort of push your throat out like this. I'm going to zoom in on that. You push your throat out like this. Now sometimes you might yawn, but it doesn't matter. Push, just do like 10 reps or something like that every now and then. And if you are at a gig and the support band's on or whatever, or the house music's on, what I do is I hum the bass lines, and do it so you can feel like your nose tickling. It's a bit embarrassing if the song stops and you're still and someone goes and looks at you, but that's another good one. And then nip off to the toilet and do a few scales if it's empty in there. That's what I do anyway. But for recording, because I'm on my own here anyway, I can warm up. I might warm up with the first vocal take that we do anyway, by doing it slightly not as full on. I always find that the volume, the wavelengths look thicker the later on I get in the takes and the more hoarse I get. So yeah, water is essential, not cold water, because if you're warming your voice up, you don't want to be reversing the effects by drinking cold water. So room temperature water. So yeah,
little frog stretches. Yawny frog stretches. That's what they're called. And then humming. Sort of go down, work the bottom end of your scale, and then and then the really embarrassing one that I don't really ever do in public, I only do it at home, is the raspberry with humming at the same time. So now that is really good because you're using a lot of your lungs basically by blowing the raspberry and keeping a note at the same time. You can do it with a bottle of water and a straw going in there. Has the same sort of pressure and effect, but the water pisses out everywhere, to be honest with you. It's a nightmare. So yeah, once you've warmed up, I'm going to set the levels and then we're going to do a tech. So we're ready. There's a microphone. Don't forget your lyrics. Press record. You're always riding on the near side. It's just the way you've always been, child. You never paid a bill. I forgot the pop filter. Idiots. Right, we're properly ready now.
So take a good long look in the mirror, mate. I hope you realize that your free ride has a use-by date. You never paid a bill in your life, that's why you're blinded by the lounge lights. Like pool illuminations is where it's at, and you never touch the thermostat. Those windows open with the heat on. You take your parents for morons. Your free ride is over.
After you finish doing that, you sort of find yourself rocking backwards and forwards. It's a long process, but it's worth it. But I've said I've just totally fried my brain just doing that comping for the vocals. It's took it out of me. I can't even speak. So I'm going to come back to this tomorrow. I'm going to need to do some double up vocals and also need to do some backing vocals. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a little wipey now. And it's all going to make, I'll see you tomorrow, like it's not even going to affect the time span. So I filmed that last Sunday and it's now the Saturday after. That's how rubbish life is. And also today the weather is depressing outside, so there's nothing better. Look at that. It's just grey and miserable outside. Couldn't think of anything else better to do than carry on recording. Now I've got some backing vocals that I've got in my head, but I haven't actually written any lyricals down yet, so I'm going to come up with those lyric ideas, have a quick listen now and write some nonsense down. It will be from the heart, it will be relevant, I promise. I'm only joking, I'm feeling very cynical today. So, this is the section that... I'm going to put some lights on, it's dark. It's like night time. Oh, now it's all yellow. So this is the section. There's paper everywhere. Right, The section is the middle section that I've got some backing vocal ideas, and I'll show you now. That's the section, so I'm going to write some physical lyricals. How the hell can I pay now? How can I afford to lose it? Gonna look me now. You got nothing. How will I get? So it's like a call and response, so it's your free ride is over, and then the backing vocal.
Your free ride is over.
How will I get around? Who is gonna pay now? Who is left to help me out? So that's the general idea for that section there. I've had the melody in my head for ages, I just haven't had the lyrics, so it now makes sense, so let's get that recorded. Also I'm going to do the double track for the choruses, just to make it stand out a little bit more. So first I'm going to do double tracking of the vocals. The trick to double tracking is to get it, well, depending on what sound you're going for, but I like to get it sounding exactly like the original. But obviously, because it's a different recording, there's going to be phase issues, and that's the whole idea, to make it so you get the actual vocal as close as possible to the original. It takes me a while sometimes to get the S's and the T's lined up together precisely. So I'm going to have a go at it now. So let's roll. So take a good long look. A good long look in the mirror, mate. This is the vocal on its own.
So take a good long look, a good long look in the mirror, mate.
And then this is it with double tracking. And I'll pan the double track one slightly left.
So take a good long look, a good long look in the mirror, mate. I hope you realize that your free ride has a use-by date.
So I'm singing the exact same part, but it sort of irons out any, like if you have any tuning problems, it irons them out, which I don't think I have anyway. But any sort of wavings, slight wavings, it irons them out because the other one cancels the other one out. It's a great technique, it's from the 60s, so you know it's good. Okay, let's double track the last chorus and then it's time for backing vocals.
Coming at ya!
It's a good
long look in the mirror, mate. You wish you took the time to realize what you had was great.
Right, it's middle eight backing vocals time. Just had a weird idea when I was messing around by the computer over there singing the backing vocals, but I had my headphones on and it sounded really roomy when I was singing. I could hear the fold back for the microphone. I accidentally left it on when I was mixing, and I was singing the backing vocals over there, and in my headphones it sounded really roomy and echoey. So what I might do is stand quite far back and do the backing vocals over here and see what that sounds like, because it sounded cool in the headphones. It might sound shit, but let's see. I might have to turn the microphone up if I'm standing that far away. I might just boost it a little bit. I'm going to try standing. The microphone is there, and I'm going to stand probably about a metre away from it. Right, let's roll.
It's over.
How the hell will you get around?
Your keepers pass on.
Who is gonna pay now?
Inheritance wasted.
Who is left to help you out?
You've got nothing, no.
Finally, the lower backing vocal. Let's go for a take. One take, this, easy. Yeah, right. How are you? How the hell will you get around?
Your keepers pass on.
Who is gonna pay now?
Inheritance wasted.
Who is left to help you out?
You've got nothing, no.
That is everything down. That's everything done for me. The next stage is mixing, but I'm not going to do that. I haven't done mixing on my own songs for a while now, because I think sometimes too much control is a bad thing, basically. So if I mixed it, probably wouldn't sound as good as if someone else mixed it. So I'll send it off to a place called RML Studios in Wolverhampton, and Ryan will mix it for me and send it back to me for my approval, and then I'll have it mastered, and then the next stage for me will be to do a music video, or probably codge one together in time for January. But yeah, it's been good. It's been weird documenting it and remembering to also press record on the camera as well as record on the computer. So thanks for watching. Tune in next time. Check out the video when it goes online. I'll probably put it here on this video so you can check it out. But please subscribe here. Thanks a lot for following this journey, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.